Check. Speak, turn it off.
He's live.
Yep,
Live.
got it, okay.
And
Hey, buddy, can we get that podium up there? A lot of people have paperwork they want to that little stand right there.
you may. Yeah, man. You want it.
Can we? Thank you.
Check. Kim's supposed to bring.
That's my sister-in-law. I don't know what I'm gonna say.
No, that's like to call to order this evening's meeting of Laurel Highlands Board of Directors. I'd like to begin with a moment of silent meditation and a salute to the flag. Did everyone have a chance to sign in that wanted to speak this evening? We're going to do the same ground rules as laid out in our board policy for public meetings. We're going to limit everyone this evening. We have a lot of speakers. We're going to have 3 minutes. You have 1 time to speak. I'll just read you directly from, so that it is, public participation is for residents and taxpayers. No participant may speak more than once on the same topic unless others wish to speak on the same topic haven't been heard. No participant may address or question board members individually. The proceeding officer may interrupt or terminate a participant's statement when the statement is too lengthy, personally, directive, abusive, obscene, irrelevant, request of any individual to leave the meeting when a person does not observe reasonable decorum. Request the assistance of law enforcement officers to remove disorderly person when his or her conduct interferes with the orderly progress of the meeting. Call, recess, or adjourn to another time when the lack of public decorum interferes with the orderly conduct of the meeting, or waive these rules with the approval of the board. Just try to be respectful and, not use profanity. We want everyone to have a chance to speak. We don't want, we don't want to limit that whatsoever. Roll call, please, Mrs. Pegg.
Roll call.
Here. Here.
Here.
Here.
Mr. Elias?
Here.
Mr. George?
Here.
Mr. Lamon? Here. Mrs. Novak? Here. Mr. Meadows? 8 yeas, or 8 present, 1 absent.
Thank you. Do we have a motion for the adoption of the agenda with the addendum, with the exclusion of tabling P10A?
I'll move.
Proper motion's been made and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Do we have a motion to take a brief executive session for personnel and legal matters? Proper motion's been made and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're going to take a brief executive session, 6:05.
Probably going to approve the contract, see, whatever, discuss it on.
I know, right?
That's a setup.
They're supposed to have a lesson plan. There's supposed to be a lesson plan for every kid. It's in the policy. It's in their policies. Yeah. Yeah. done in work session too, which is usually done, everything's finalized in work session, so they're basically roll back. If anybody has anything, it should be rather quick. But I'll tell you right now, I mean, I know nobody's entitled to executive session. But I'll tell you right now, if I was on that board, I'd vote no to executive session. I'd be like, let's do it in front of everybody. Right now it's the appropriate thing to suggest. I mean, once you get the district in order, I wouldn't care about going back to executive session. But as of right now, because of all the shit show going on, make it
Do we have a motion to return from executive session at 7:09?
Motion.
Proper motion's been made and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Recognition of the stakeholders. I'm going to go through this list pretty much in order with the exception of Mr. Scott Carlson, as he actually went forth and asked to be placed on the agenda over a week ago. So, floor is yours, Scott.
That's without time limit, is that correct?
What's that?
I did request it without time limit. is
Correct.
that- All right. All right, so the first thing I wanted to address was the board addressed me 2 weeks ago, so I want to address that. The exposure of a contract through criticism, board actions, spending of public funds, or potential wrongdoing falls under protected First Amendment free speech. My criticism was that Dr. Wallace took advantage of foolish board members who have no experience in or math proficiency, or that they were thick as thieves. Thick as thieves is an idiom that describes an extremely close relationship or partnership where individuals are tightly bonded and supportive of one another. So I'm going to rewind back to April 16, 2025, the contract extension date. Mrs. Cunningham, Mrs. Novak, and Mr. George were not school board members. Criticisms that I made do not apply to you. Mr. Donato, Mr. Elias, and Mrs. Conway voted against the extension of contract for Dr. Wallace. Criticisms that I made do not apply to you. Mr. Meadows, Mr. Landman, and Mr. DeAndrea, who was the acting the president at the time, you three voted yes for the extension of the contract. Criticisms that I made do apply to you. 3 other previous elected board members voted in favor of the extension for a total of a 6-3 to adopt it. This is public knowledge. It can be viewed on YouTube. Although the board minutes were not available via the link on the school board webpage, I did request them via Right to Know and promptly received a copy of them. I'll revisit this date later on when we discuss contracts. The next agenda on my item was the MBM law firm, what their scope was, the intent and the scope, the cost to the public, and the transparency. You guys did post something on the school board about it does have the scope and it does have the cost. I do have that with me. So the only question I have left is how transparent is this going to be? Like if they write a report, is it going to be posted to the public to see? I can't hear you.
It will be provided to the board, and depending on what that entails, whether it's personnel matters or whether it's student matters, it all is going to be governed by the school code to determine what is public. And your recitation as to the need for transparency, that is all governed by the school code and the determination as to where privacy exists and where due process has to follow.
Okay. Under the Sunshine Act, basically. Okay, so moving on with the current contract discussion. So I'm going to make these assumptions that Act 48 of 1999, it requires the superintendent to have 180 hours of continuing professional education every 5 years. I'm assuming that's going on by law. I'm also assuming Act 45 of 2007, standards-based continuing education on cyclical basis, focus on core and corollary leadership competencies such as professional growth plans for staff, aligning development with student learning and continuous improvement. I'm just going to assume that's going on too, since I don't think the superintendent's going to answer. So moving on, unless you want to.
Certifications requirements are all in place.
Okay, thank you. So moving on, this is a school board policy. This is 302. And I'm not going to read all these policies, but it's employment used for the contract. It's the employment of the superintendent dated September 21st, 2006. Just a few things, just under the employment, no person shall be employed as a superintendent. And it goes on to list 6 things: term, salary, benefits, statement of procedure followed for consequences of termination, procedures for resolving misunderstandings, disagreements, statement for mutually agreeable evaluation process. I'm assuming that's what the contract is based off, this policy.
Correct.
All right, moving on, we'll go to 312. This is administrative employees evaluation of the superintendent, dated September 21st, 2006. It has some guidelines on here. It basically talks about the evaluation of the superintendent. Like I said, I'm not going to go through every single thing on here. I'm not going to read it, bore everybody to death. So moving on, we'll go to 317, which is administrative employees' conduct, disciplinary procedures, dated September 21st, 2006, last reviewed May 15th, 2023. It says delegation of responsibility. All district employees shall comply with state and federal laws and regulations, board policies, administrative regulations, rules and procedures. District employees shall endeavor to maintain order, perform assigned job functions, and carry out directives issued by supervisors. And the big things here, obviously, number 2, this is why everybody's here, non-professional relationships with students. Moving on, the other big thing is there are no administrators to violate federal, state, or applicable municipal laws or regulations. So in the contract, it does say that the superintendent is the chief executive of the district. Clearly states it in there. Superintendents are legally responsible for overall compliance with PA School Code, Pennsylvania Department of Education regulations, federal laws, and board policies. Ignorance of the law is not a defense in potential legal challenges, audits, or board oversight. Superintendent contracts are also subject to the Right to Know Law Act of February 14, 2008. So we're going to move right into that contract. So when I'm looking at the contract, there's several things that I don't see in there. It should have terms and conditions, which it does have a term in there. I don't see specific duties, responsibilities, job description. I don't see any clause in the current contract that specifies the termination, any buyout or severance provisions, including post-employment compensation for a period of time. I don't see provisions relating to any outside work that may be performed. I don't see a provision that says it's governed by the law of the Commonwealth. And usually there's, although it really wouldn't apply here, usually there's a limit to transfer sick time from, I'm guessing maybe he worked with the LHEA. He was maybe a school teacher after that. I don't see any of those provisions in the contract, unless somebody can show me where they're at.
All the contracts are governed by the laws.
I can't hear you.
All the contracts are governed by, for any administrator, are governed by the laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So they are included, whether that's stated specifically or not.
Okay, I'm glad you said that, because the contract's illegal. It doesn't follow 1073 of the school code. It does not at all, and that was adjusted in 2012. And I'll read it to you here. Notwithstanding any other provision of the law, no individual shall be employed as a district superintendent or assistant district superintendent by a school district except pursuant to a written contract of employment expressly stating the terms and conditions of employment. A contract for the employment of the district superintendent or assistant district superintendent shall do all of the following. It does do a few things. It does have terms, doesn't have conditions, doesn't specify the duties, doesn't do the responsibilities, no job description, no clause specifying termination, buyout, severance of provisions, doesn't contain any provisions relating to outside work. This is right out of the law. It's 1073, right out of the PA school code. It's mandatory to be in a contract. So all those things that I just mentioned that are not in the contract make this contract illegal. And for public knowledge, for the public to know, I requested the minutes from the April 26, 2025 meeting through the Right to Know and promptly received the minutes. Now those minutes, just briefly, anybody can see this on YouTube, so you can look it up for that date. It's public knowledge. After roll call, the then President DeAndrea announced an addendum, which was voted on by the board. The addendum was less than the 24. It wasn't on the agenda. It's an add-on. From the 24 hours when it was put out, the addendum was the superintendent's extension of contract. That was April 26, 2025. So Mr. DeAndrea announced the addendum, and it was voted on by the board, and they approved the addendum. Near the end of the meeting, the extension of the contract was voted on by the board with a 6-3 in favor. And the reason given, it's been done in the past this way, stated Mr. DeAndrea when specifically asked for a reason. What the minutes say, which is fine, they don't have to be word for word. It says he responded with its common practice to take action when there's 2 years left. All right, so at this time, what applied at this kind of be boring, but everybody should pay attention. The Sunshine Act provided 3 exceptions to the 24-hour rule. It had to be an emergency where life or property was in danger. It could be an issue that arises within the 24 hours before the meeting that do not involve expenditure of funds or enters into a contract, which is what this did, or an issue that raised during the meeting that do not involve expenditures of funds or entering into a contract. And to be transparent, later on in the year in 2025, the PA Supreme Court made a ruling, and this was in November of 2025, which is after. They said the Sunshine Act actually created a 4th exception where it could be an addendum, but this was prior to. So the law applied then. And this was non-de minimis, which is basically, they tried to make it fall under the 2nd, but it does not. It involved expenditures of funds or entering into a contract. In summary, before Coleman, school boards face a stronger practical requirement to list significant items like superintendent contracts on the 24-hour posted agenda. They could not reliably add and vote on them via major vote alone in the item involved, if the item involved contract or funds and wasn't an emergency or truly de minimis. The 24-hour rule was not followed in that the contract was an addendum to the agenda. This was the first sign of smoke, and where there's smoke, there's fire. Remember my criticism, thick as thieves. Moving on, Mr. DeAndrea's statement, it's been done that way in the past, wasn't entirely true. It's been done that way with less than 2 years on a contract and has been in the past. Why, someone might ask? Well, let me tell you. In the law, the superintendent contract must have a term of 3 to 5 years and cannot exceed 5 years collectively. That's in 1073 as well of the PA School Code. This effectively made the contract 5 years and 2 months. So moving on to the extended contract. The previous requirements from 1073 still apply to the extended contract. Although some requirements were added, it still lacks many requirements by the laws and is thus illegal. Furthermore, at 1 hour 17 minutes, Mr. DeAndrea discussed the extended contract from July 1st, 2027 to July 30th, 2030. The raise will be $6,000 for each of the 3 years, and there is an opportunity for Dr. Wallace to buy sick day back, no more than 15 the first year, no more than 15 the second year, no more than 30 the third year at a $200 rate, and those will not be included in the contract as it is right now, and we do not have to pay the PSERS, as Mr. Raymond said. Those are quotes. There was a gentleman that asked if that was the going rate, and Dr. Wallace responded, whatever the balance is will be subject to that. This will go into deferred compensation fund without us paying the PSERS or Social Security. So items that were added in the extended contract that are changes from the current contract that were deliberately kept out from the public are as follows. This is more smoke. His vacation days went from 20 to 25, that wasn't mentioned. His sick days went from 11 to 15, also not mentioned. Husband, wife, full health insurance coverage as described above will be provided for and received by superintendent and spouse for 10 years post-retirement date. This provision accounts for the entire employment of the superintendent throughout the term of the agreement and post-retirement should he decide to retire prior to the end of the agreement term. There's another one. The superintendent will be reimbursed for the annual cell phone cost and have access to technical resources, computers, tablets, etc., necessary to effectively and efficiently conduct the business of the district. In addition, should the superintendent and the school board at any time during this agreement decide to terminate the agreement for any reason other than a guilty verdict violation within the current Pennsylvania Department of Education standards and practices guidelines, or the superintendent and school board mutually agree, the superintendent will be compensated for the entire salary and benefits cited in the agreement in one lump payment, including all PSERS contributions due in his last paycheck from the district. I almost want to read that again, but I'm not going to bore anybody. This is a material breach of the highest order. This is the inferno from where the smoke comes from. 1073, again, PA School Code. No agreement between the Board of School Directors and District Superintendent or Assistant District Superintendent for negotiated severance of employment prior to the end of the specified contract term shall provide for severance compensation to the District Superintendent or Assistant District Superintendent, including reasonable value of the non-cash severance benefits for post-employment benefits not otherwise accruing under the contract or pursuant to the law. That there's two things. This is the first one. If the agreement takes effect 2 years or more prior to the end of the contract, end of the specified contract term, exceeds the equivalent of 1 year compensation and benefits otherwise due under that contract. What that means is, if that contract is terminated with more than 2 years, he's only entitled to 1 year. You could terminate it at 4 years, he's entitled to 1 year of compensation, not the entire thing. Secondly, if the agreement takes effect less than 2 years, this part says if it's less than 2 years, if it's 10 months, he's entitled to 5 months of severance. That half. This says he's entitled to all, the contract does. That's illegal. Furthermore, we're going to go into 1080 of the PA School Code. 1080, removal. This applies to a superintendent. The district superintendent and the assistant district superintendents may be removed from office and have their contracts terminated after hearing by a majority vote of the school board of school directors of the district for neglect of duty, incompetency, intemperance, or immorality, of which hearing is notice of at least 1 week has been sent by mail to the accused, as well as each member of the board of school directors. The Board of School Directors shall publicly disclose at the next regularly scheduled monthly meeting the removal of the district superintendent or assistant district superintendent from office under subsection A. We the people want to know whether Dr. Wallace immorally entered into an illegal contract or if he was neglectful of duty through incompetency by not keeping up with the PA school code, or was it something more sinister?
Not here to debate that.
Correct. I didn't think, yeah, that's fine. The contract may be deemed void, unenforceable, or a nullity. Courts and legal opinions treat failures to strictly comply with the school code as fatal defects. 2022, McKeesport new school board investigated a lame duck school board and provided an illegal contract to the superintendent. After legal issues were raised, the superintendent later resigned. Districts are liable and bears the financial responsibilities. The taxpayers bear the costs of lawsuits, settlements, and continued payments. I will concede that it is difficult to remove superintendents, as generally they do get they have to have just cause and proper due process. Although illegal contracts weakens the superintendent's position and gives the district grounds to void it. Also, new school boards frequently review lame duck school board actions for legality. Improper contracts can lead to public scrutiny, audits, sunshine law, right to know issues, or calls for investigation. In some extreme cases involving ethics or corruption, additional penalties may apply, like pension forfeiture under the Public Employees Pension Forfeiture Act. And like I said, I read Section 1080 to everybody. It applies for the removal of the superintendent, but I'm really not sure if it applies at all. We're in uncharted waters where the contract is illegal, and my personal opinion is we don't have a superintendent. Maybe the board should dismiss him from the meeting now. This leads me into questioning the duty of the current school board solicitor, who might be asleep at the helm. I requested the contract between the school board and the solicitor and received it promptly. I applaud the price that you're giving the school board, but sometimes you get what you pay for. The response I got, technically there is not a written contract for the solicitor. He's hired by the board vote at an annual reorganization meeting held in December. Director DeAndrea and Director Cunningham seconded the motion to appoint Gary Frankhauser and Davis & Davis Law Offices as a solicitor for 2026 and set the retainer at $6,500 a year with an hourly rate of $100. It isn't bad. It's actually pretty good. These are the same fees as previous years. It was noted that this will be Mr. Frankhauser's 40th year serving the district as a solicitor, and he's proud and honored to serve at his alma mater. Even without a contract, a solicitor is governed by statutory authority for appointment that's per the Public School Code. PA Rules of Professional Conduct, Sunshine Act, PA Public Officials and Employee Ethics Act, common law principles of attorney-client relationship, and case law and board resolutions. The duty of a solicitor provides legal advice and opinions interpreting the Public School Code, federal and state laws, regulations, and Pennsylvania Department of Education law. He attends school board meetings and provides real-time counsel. He represents the district in legal matters, overseeing litigation, arbitrations, administrative hearings, appeals, and negotiations. Drafting, he also does drafting and reviewing documents such as contracts, policies, and resolutions. He advises on governance procedures such as ethics rules, open meeting requirements, student rights, discipline, teacher tenure and dismissal, budget and finance issues. He does risk management and prevention, like helping the board avoid illegal contracts, excessive severance packages, procedural errors in hiring and firing that could lead to costly lawsuits or avoided contracts. The last but not least, he is independent counsel to the school board, loyalty to the board. This district, in my opinion, is exposed to lawsuits in regard to the current and extended contract of the superintendent, amongst other serious issues to which the burden currently lays squarely on the taxpayers. Summarizing, school board members that voted yes for these contracts have general protections under the law: PA political tort claims, qualified immunity, and federal claims, and they also have a fiduciary duty standard, which is care, loyalty, good faith to the district, and it limits what a taxpayer could do if they tried to hold them liable. But personal liability can apply, especially if the superintendent, especially for superintendent contracts and their severance pay. Illegal expenditures of public funds, which is misappropriation of public funds, and or breach of fiduciary duty, which is knowingly or recklessly ignoring statutory limits. They could even face criminal liability, removal of sanctions, and or legal costs for defense and loss of reputation. Let's take a breath here. There is the possibility that those board members that voted yes used good faith reliance and acted in good faith from advice from the solicitor. If this is the case, then the fault here would rest squarely with the solicitor and the firm representing the school board. We the people want to know, was it the former? Did you recklessly do it? Did you get good advice and recklessly do it anyways? Or was it the latter? You got bad advice? Or maybe something even more sinister? As we get closer to conclusion and the truth, it is imperative that the district get its house in order in accordance with the law. School board policies need updated. We need proper oversight from capable school board members and proper legal opinions from a dedicated education attorney. Contracts need to be effective and merit-based in order to best serve our children and the future of the district and the region. No more good old boy system or skating by with the right last name. And as I said before, soft men have created these hard times. Ultimately, the school board will have to decide what to do with these contracts in regards to the information I've provided in less than 1 month of research. One might suggest an educational legal counsel other than the current solicitor and possible investigations into previous lame duck school boards. The point of contact for the Commonwealth for this would be the Auditor General, not the Attorney General, the Auditor General. The only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. I wonder which side each of you will choose. Thank you for your time. Oh, and by the way, Shippensburg posts all their contracts. I have a contract, a legal contract with their superintendent. Legal. It meets all the requirements of 1073. If you guys want a copy of it, you're welcome to it. But you can get it right online. It's open to the public. Thank you.
Sticking with the school law stuff, we'll fast forward to Mr. Thomas Schaefer of 46 Fairview Drive.
Good evening. I'd like to thank the chairman,
Do you start your
Mr. Donano, Superintendent Wallace, and Solicitor Frankhauser for allowing me to have this moment to speak here on a positive note in support of the school board. And I am not here for anything other than to protect my children and to clarify succinctly what the law is regarding sexual misconduct and what a school board's required to do. You might not know this, but the county was formed in 1783. The only attorney in all that history to prosecute a school district was me, okay? So I know all about Title IX, and I know all what it takes to prove a case when it comes to this in this regard. But for a moment, I want to take a sidestep, and I want to say what I said. I've only been in front of the school board one other time, and I'll repeat what I said. I am not a fan of executive session. Why? As Mr. Frankhauser will tell you, courts are open to the public. When you go in the back room, no one knows what you say. Nothing's really, well, not nothing. Some of it is not written down. You know, we all believe in the Sunshine Act, the Freedom of Information Act, and really that's not what occurs. And you might not know this, but the Confrontation Clause, the root of that is when Jesus was taken by Pontius Pilate to the Jews and they decided to crucify him. In 46 AD, a Greek, a Roman emperor named Tiberius, codified it in Roman law. That is the law we follow today. That's the law Mr. Frankhauser and I follow, and all attorneys in this state follow. That doesn't really happen, but again, that and Loudermill, if you even know what that is. That's the right to be heard, given notice what you did wrong, and a right to be heard. That's lip service, because they can tell you there's the door. So those are two issues that won't be addressed today. But what I really want to address today is what a lot of people don't understand. They're accusing a lot of people based on lack of information and ignorance of the law. So I'll give you a quick example. I have 3 boys. One's still in school here. And if I were to give my son my keys, and he continues to go and speed every time I give him the keys, and he kills someone, I negligently entrusted my keys and my car to a kid who kills somebody. I'm liable.
Sorry, Mr. Schaefer, that's time.
Just wrap up.
One more minute. The standard is I knew or should have known that my kid was going to do that. I'm held accountable. In a school district setting, the standard is much different because it protects the taxpayers. It protects us. It's called actual knowledge. So how many times would a superintendent or a principal walk in and there's sexual misconduct with a teacher and a student? Maybe never, but even if it did happen, if the school board takes the appropriate measures, appropriate remedial measures, the school district cannot be sued. So in other words, appropriate remedial measure would be firing someone. And my hat is off to you because you've at least fired one person. And someone out there thinking they're going to get a big ticket at the end of the day, that is a very, very hard case to prove. And these gentlemen, particularly my friend Jesse Wallace, has done the right thing here by taking the right remedial measures. He protected all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Miss Jamie Lynn, 1562 Gun Club Road.
I was invited to come and speak to let you all know that what Mr. Gaddy did, he wasn't just doing it to little girls. Of course, in my son's case, he was bullying, intimidating, and provocating him scaring him, not wanting him to come to school. I had to keep him from quitting school several times last year from September to December. From September to December, I had to keep him from going and wanting to quit school. He continuously, every single day, he was not going to school. Whenever I reached out to Mr. Kalich, who I thought was going to do something because I grew up with him, I thought Matt would step in and protect my son. He did absolutely nothing. He told me my son was the problem. He told me my son was an instigator. The one thing I will never forget is he told me that Mr. Gaddy is an exemplary teacher who they go to guide these students. And then I find out what he's doing to my son. I came to the school after Matt did nothing. On the third meeting, I decided to go to Mr. Diamond. Mr. Diamond, he listened to us, and he told me he was going to look into it. Never heard from him again. But then I found out more that was going on in the school, the things that Mr. Gaddy was doing, like shoulder checking my son and whispering little girls' names in his ear, telling him he's going to beat him in the classroom. He doesn't want him on the football team. He said that he would never touch a football if he became a football coach. It was a nonstop thing. I came to Mr. Diamond for the last time, and Mr. Diamond, sitting back to my right, literally looked at me and told me that he told Donovan to stay out of those hallways. Donovan should not have been in the hallways that Mr. Gaddy was in. But he would have been late for classes, and then Donovan again would have been in trouble because he was late for a class that Mr. Diamond told him to stay out of the hallways. That instead of protecting him, they protected Mr. Gaddy continuously. And I was here from September to April, continuously complaining about it, until I finally reached out to try and get a hold of Mr. Wallace. I, of course, talked to you guys all on Monday and made you guys all aware of that. And I'm waiting to speak with Mr. Wallace on my own. But whenever I reached out to Mr. Wallace, I was again told that it would not be discussed. Mr. Gaddy is off limits. I don't know what is going on with the school, but it was more that they're protecting their teachers. They're not protecting our students. And I won't be silenced. This is my son. I will be here every single day if I have to make sure that none of these teachers ever get away with bullying, intimidating, or just doing the things that they've done to Donovan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mr. Carl Walker, 409 David Drive, or Dove Drive. Is that what it's? Dove Drive? Sorry.
Before I begin, how much time do we have?
3 minutes.
Are others allowed to give their time, yield their time?
We have to have an orderly process of that, but that is doable.
Excuse me?
It is an orderly process of that, yes.
So it is allowed? for
Yes.
people? Okay. Before I begin, I want to state this is not about opinions tonight. This is about documented facts, state findings, and the impacts those failures are having on our children. Good evening. My name is Carl Walker. I'm a parent, a taxpayer, and a member of this community. I'm here tonight because what we are being told does not match what is actually happening in this district. We are told the superintendent is rated distinguished in every category of his evaluation, but the district ranks in the bottom half statewide, not countywide, statewide, with a math proficiency at around 30%. Even Mr. Wallace's own evaluation, which was done by Mr. DeAndrea, or at least signed off on by Mr. DeAndrea, I'm not sure if Mr. Wallace didn't do his own evaluation, states that staff accountability needs improvement. If we are writing a comment and evaluation that staff accountability needs improvement, and now we are going through these same issues, explain to me, Mr. DeAndrea, how that rate's distinguished. Also in the evaluation, it says that student data is not entirely accurate, which was actually a rater's comment basically stating that the standardized test scores being low are the result of parents allowing their students to opt out, and a majority of those who did so being the smart kids. So it reflected badly on the district, because yes, by all means, we should blame students and parents for low scores throughout the district. Millions of taxpayer dollars gone. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I might have. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me begin again. Then we have the Pennsylvania Auditor General's report from March of 2022. That report found overpayments due to inaccurate reporting, a complete failure of internal controls, and more than $4.7 million in taxpayer funds that could not be audited. Let me be very clear about what that means to the board and to the public. That is money that cannot be verified, cannot be supported, and cannot be fully accounted for. $4.7 million taxpayer money, gone. With no clear documentation behind it, just someone saying it was used for transportation costs. Was there ever an investigation done into the unaccounted for $4.7 million? I would like to know, the taxpayers would like to know where that money is.
That was your 3 minutes. I would assume that Melissa Walker would concede her time. Okay, continue.
So I don't know if anybody has an answer where that $4.7 million is. We would like to know, especially in light of the fact that there's been new contracts since then given to people with extensions and making hundreds of thousands of dollars in this district when we have 4.7 million of it that has just disappeared. Under Pennsylvania law, first of all, that is a major breakdown in financial accountability and public trust. And under Pennsylvania law, school districts are required to maintain accurate reporting and proper oversight of both funds and personnel. The audit also found failures in ensuring proper clearances for individuals transporting students, something directly tied to child safety laws, and interestingly enough, tied directly to the missing $4.7 million, transportation. Parents have made it very clear at recent board meetings. They are frustrated with the lack of transparency. And since the last meeting, more has happened. And again, the district has failed to properly inform parents and the community. As an example, it was brought to our attention that the school resource officer was dismissed from the high school with no explanation given. I'm not saying you have to tell the public about personnel issues or what they are fired for, but when there's things of this nature going on in your district, in our district, and a staff member gets fired and walked out of the high school, I believe the parents have a right to know that that took place. I'm not asking you to tell me why, but I'm asking you to tell me what's going on in this district, especially now. Also, the high school principal was moved to the middle school as an assistant principal, and the middle school assistant principal was moved into the high school as the new principal. These are major changes affecting safety, leadership, and the learning environment, and yet communication has still not taken place. I want to be completely transparent about something because I don't want any confusion from anybody. What I'm saying tonight is not personal. And I want to be perfectly clear. Prior to the start of the school year, I was an SRO for this district. I met with Dr. Wallace in his office and resigned my position as a school resource officer. That decision came after a situation with one of the varsity sports teams where I was serving as an assistant coach. That situation was not properly investigated or handled correctly. I was removed from that position without ever being spoken to about the situation. No conversation, no explanation, no attempt to gather facts. And I'm sharing this not because this is personal, but to demonstrate what transparency actually looks like. Because I can be transparent about things that have happened in the past. and because it reflects a larger issue. A lack of communication, a lack of accountability, and a failure for the properly addressed situations that directly impact our students.
That was your 3 minutes again, Mr. Walker. We have Adriana Walker that says, has on here, give time.
Continue.
Continue.
After that meeting, I sent an email to Dr. Wallace and to this board, outlining multiple concerns regarding safety and security within this district. And to this day, I have not received a response from him or from a single board member regarding that email and those concerns. Not one. That is why I'm speaking tonight. Not because of me, but because of what that represents for our kids in this district. Let me regress 1 second. Regarding Bobby Downs stepping in as the new high school principal is an amazing change for our district. She represents the kind of leadership this district needs. She's already shown how one person can positively impact the atmosphere and learning environment. Her being there is a start, is only a start. But one strong individual cannot fix a system that lacks accountability at the top. Because this is not one issue, this is a pattern. Security issues, data issues, financial issues, accountability issues, transparency issues, and a serious incident now gaining public attention. This is not coincidence. This is a systematic problem. To the board members, you are the governing body of this district. You are responsible for oversight. And these issues did not continue without that oversight failing. And here's what concerns me the most. Because of all of these issues, the audit, the incidents, the investigations, and the media coverage, the district is now receiving unwanted and negative attention. And that doesn't just affect the leadership, that affects our children. Everybody in this room. Our kids are the ones dealing with it on social media, at school events, in their communities, and when they're around students from other schools. Every single day, our kids have to deal with this. They are the ones who feel the embarrassment of being associated with a district that is constantly in a negative light, and that is not fair to them. And the community is responding. There is a petition demanding accountability, which currently stands at over 1,000 signatures. And I can verify that over 1,000 of those signatures are from this community, North Union, Uniontown, and South Union Township. Demanding and calling for the immediate resignation of Superintendent Wallace or board termination. I would further call on any board member who was in position at the time of the 2022 audit and in position during the approval of Superintendent Wallace's evaluation and contract extension to also resign immediately, as you do not have the district or students' best interest in mind. And I would also call on the solicitor to do the same.
That was the 3 minutes up there again.
I'll be done in just a second.
Ms. Hope Carlson, would you concede your time?
Thank you.
Continue.
The pattern is clear, and the impact on this community is clear. The only thing left to decide is who is going to take responsibility. As a last note, I believe in this community, it's time for local leaders, county commissioners, state representatives, and the Department of Education to begin seriously looking at the combining of Laurel Highlands and Uniontown school districts. This would be a serious benefit to the students of our district and fiscally responsible to the community that we are in. We are in one of the most impoverished counties in the state of Pennsylvania. For us to split our tax base in such a small community to fund two separate school districts, two separate boards, two separate everything is absolutely ridiculous. We could have better sports programs, we could have better education programs, we could have better everything for our students if people put their own stuff aside and quit worrying about what's going into their pocket and start worrying about what's going into our kids' minds. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Mr. Randy Brite, Hopwood.
I'd like to thank you all for letting me speak here tonight. You know, we always look at the negativity of things. You know, just one bad apple can ruin everything. First of all, excuse me, I want to thank the educators and the board and the parents and the teachers and the kids. There's good ones still out there in the world today. Everything that we look at in the paper, and I'll tell you what the ruination of the country is. This thing called a daggone cell phone. I'm 68 years old. My name's Randy Brite. I've lived in Laurel Highlands School District for 68 years. The question to me is, why should I pay my school tax? With everything that's gone on with these teachers, do they not have morals and standards and respect? As a kid growing up, if you didn't own it, or if it didn't belong to you, you didn't touch it. Material or human being, you didn't touch it. Hands off. My thing is, proper preparation makes for a good foundation. And that boils all the way down to the parents, all the way up to our educators and leaders. These kids that's come to school, most of them at 18, they're graduating, if I'm correct. They're still kids. They need leadership. They need structure in their life. But the morals and standards, the yes sir, the yes ma'am, and I hate to say it, the standard word in America today, and I won't say it, is the F word. It's sad. Ladies and gentlemen, it's sad out there, and it bothers me. Why should I pay taxes? Because I want to pay taxes. I don't have one kid, no grandkids coming to Laurel Highlands. Not one. I'm here for them kids. But as leaders, educators, parents, grandparents, we need to open our eyes to these kids. I heard the word communicate. We need to communicate with these children. See what's going on. Not have them text us, but to sit down and go on, hey, what's happening here today? We've lost that touch in society. We have lost that touch. And like I said, proper preparation makes for a good foundation. And I'll sit down, but it says in Proverbs 19, verse 20, listen to advice, accept discipline, and at the end, you will be counted among the wise. And can each and every one of us say that we do that? And on the last note, we all need to tighten our belts up. Each and every one. Let's quit sweeping things under the rug, because now the rug's dirty and we can't turn it over. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Becker. Sarah Hickson, Lemont Furnace.
Hello. My name's Sarah Hickson, and I made a Facebook post. It said, anyone that has reported any incidents of a sexual manner that was not taken seriously by a teacher, principal, superintendent, or any school official, please give me a hand raise emoji or private message me. The attorney that the school district has retained is doing an amazing job at reaching out to people that the above has happened to. I will share his information with anyone that has anything to report. He'd like to know of any or all incidents. The school board will have some decisions to make after this investigation concludes, but they have to have the information for the decisions. Even if it were 20 plus years ago, nothing needs currently to be made public. And if you private message me, I will not share your information with anyone unless you say that I can. Sorry. In less than 24 hours, that post was viewed over 10,000 times, shared 74 times, and I had 18 people reach out to me looking for the contact information of the attorney so that they can let them know what they know or what someone told them that was reported to the school officials and nothing was ever done with it. Now I ask, what are the current reporting guidelines and procedures for Laurel Highlands? It was not long ago, within just the last few weeks, that the previous guidelines were removed from the website. The bottom of the guidelines stated, if a student reports that they have been assaulted by a school employee, do not, in capital letters, call CYS. Notify the building principal immediately. If for some reason the building principal is not in the building, notify the central office administrator. That has since been removed in the last few weeks. That being said, while these above guidelines were in place, how many children were hurt? How many children were sexualized by an adult within this district that should have been able to protect them? Who made these decisions to report to CYS? And if those reports were made, then who reported them? How many people knew about these reports, and how many hands did they have to go through before they were reported to the proper authorities? Jesse Wallace, I've had respect for you over the years, but I am going to say this. I've watched you in these meetings roll your eyes recently, sigh, and continuously say that you were unaware of any of these events that took place. I know myself, sat in your office whenever I was in high school and you were my principal. You told me that I could not say what I said to a teacher. After he said the gross things that he said to me, you looked at me and doubled down and said that he was just joking and to go back to class. I went back to class and didn't really think about it again until recently when he was arrested. I can still remember what he smelled like that day in my face. And I can still remember the collared shirt that he had on and the chain that hung around his neck. Moving forward, I have seen messages, text messages, and emails to current employees that have said, forgive me and I'm paraphrasing this, if you speak, post, or comment on anything that is currently going on, your job is in jeopardy. Also, people don't want to currently be seen with me because they're scared that if I say something, that it will look like they said it.
That was your 3 minutes, but we have Ashley Hollywood. Thank you. Continue. Sorry, Mrs. Hicks.
I have talked to teachers that have wanted to come and say things, come out and talk about what they have heard, but they are worried about the retaliation. In the words of my guy, this is bull. This can't keep happening. I've had respect for you for years. I've sat in your office, gotten in trouble, been suspended, and told my dad I was pregnant. Do you remember that?
So I do.
Do you remember whenever I sat in your office and you told me Martin Gaddy was joking?
No.
No, we don't remember that. But we're probably very well aware that I myself have caused a lot of gray hairs on your head because the problem student becomes the problem parent. And I'm here to keep my kids safe. What happened to me will not happen to them.
Thank you, Mrs. Hickson. I can't read this. Oh, that was good. Brandy Williams, 189 Cole Street.
Hi, guys. I just want to say thank you to you for bringing it up about the contract and the legality, because I knew I wasn't crazy when I questioned it a year ago. Thank you. I'm not reading my words. Mine will be coming at the next meeting, so prepare for that. This is read from another alumni member that I graduated with who couldn't attend today. She starts off by saying, "Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the board. I'm Sharon Carpenter. There are several more issues I would like to speak to you about regarding things that may have been brought to my attention since April 1st of 2026. I will do my best to ensure I stay concise and informative. The first thing I would like to mention is section 000 code 006. This code explicitly states the following: all board meetings will be conducted in an orderly and businesslike manner. Parliamentary procedure at a glance by O. Garfield Jones, based on Robert's Rule of Order, shall govern the board in its deliberations in all cases in which it is consistent with statute, regulations of the state board, or board procedures. For those unfamiliar with this code of conduct, I am more than happy to explain it, as I am quite familiar with both procedures due to serving as a parliamentarian of the Fairmont State University Student Government Association. You see, both procedures grant speakers a 10-minute limit for speaking, not the 3 minutes limited that the board claims that they have a policy of. I took the time to comb through the board policies multiple times to find said policy. I assure you, it does not exist. This leads me to believe it was a plot to try and silence the voices of the audience, one that did not work out, as many have come forward to concede their time to others to allow them to finish. Additionally, while it is legal for Dr. Jesse Wallace to be the Title IX coordinator, it does pose an issue of ethics. For those that do not know, the Title IX coordinator is supposed to conduct investigations based on sex-based discrimination, sexual harassment, and sexual assault in educational programs receiving federal funding. Title IX requires this person to take their findings to their superior at the conclusion of the investigation. If the coordinator is the superintendent of the district, this poses a conflict of interest. Additionally, a Title IX position is a paid position. This begs the question, is Dr. Wallace being paid in addition to his regular salary for this position? If so, should the constituents of the district not have a say on whether this is a position that should be held by Dr. Wallace, as this can be considered double dipping? According to the Pennsylvania Sunshine Act, state and local government agencies, including school boards, must provide the meeting agenda and minutes to the public. When looking for the meeting minutes for previous meetings, they are not available to the public. This appears to be, from a public perspective, a way to disallow your constituents the ability to see what is happening in the meetings if they were unable to attend. This is in direct violation of the law due to the inability of some to be able to formally request documentations due to work hours. Further, I've received stories from others about their time in the district. They have asked me to remain anonymous, and I intend to keep my word that they will. The first is regarding another member of the staff that is no longer employed by the district. Whether this is due to retirement or taking a position at a different school, I am unsure. This male educator said to a student when she was called to the office, and I quote, "Hate to see you go, love to watch you leave."
That was your 3 minutes. We have a Gypsy Blake on Elm Street to concede her time. You want your time now? So
This made her feel as though she was being sexualized in front of her peers by someone that was supposed to protect her, not flirt with her. There was another male student that was bullied badly. He came from a bad home life, was homeless, did not have clean clothes or access to basic hygiene most of the time. He was tormented by his peers for being one of the goth kids. When this was brought to the attention of a member of the staff, it was brushed off and never taken care of. This student, who desperately needed help, was left to fend for himself and figure out how to survive, something no child or teenager should ever have to face. While most people like to bring the stories that are negative, one did report to me that when she brought concerns about her home life and the attention of Mr. Loy, he did report what he was told to the appropriate authorities to help protect the student from her home life. This is what should happen, even if something's just a rumor. While I agree that rumors can be harmful if they are proven to be inaccurate, they should all be investigated for the welfare of the students. It is not far better to ensure that someone truly is innocent than just to assume a rumor is false. So much of this could have been avoided if only rumors were taken as a warning rather than a student trying to make a teacher's reputation sink. I asked the board and the newly hired outside counsel to investigate how predators were allowed to fly under the radar for so long. Why have students come home to their parents saying they would be punished for discussing the issues with their friends at school? Should the students remain ignorant about the events of the school that they are attending, or do they have the right to know what is happening so they can be aware and pay more attention to it? Additionally, I passionately believe that students should be given the opportunity and a truly safe place to discuss any instances that they are afraid to bring to your attention due to past repercussions. Again, I say that there are many amazing educators that genuinely do care about students of this district. However, their legacy is being tarnished by the ones who seek to prey on the students of this district. I implore you to think about your next actions and how to prevent any further incidents. Make parents and guardians feel as though their children are safe in the care of the faculty and staff of the district. Instill a sense of security and pride within your students again, because it's gone, guys. Hate to say it. And she left contact information if anyone would like to reach out to her, but I also do want to say this. I have a coworker whose children go to Brownsville. Their students are being warned to not be alone with people here at school events. Do not be caught with a teacher. Go places with a buddy system. That's sad. Do you realize how sad that is? Think about it. Investigate. Do your jobs.
Gypsy Blake, Elm Street.
Hi guys, I was here at the last meeting and I talked about transparency and gave a few like softball suggestions on how you could be a little more transparent, like posting the next board meeting on Facebook, sharing the live on Facebook, posting the minutes online. I see that you heeded none of that, super appreciated, but I do have a couple more transparent questions, and just because I'm not allowed to address the board, I only have questions for Mr. Frankhauser, and I don't want to ask you these questions. I don't want to ask people personal questions about their businesses and things like that, but this is the situation that we're in. I'm just curious, since they said that you've been on the solicitor for 40 years, in that time, have you ever represented Mr. Wallace or his wife in any legal matters outside the office, pro bono, or have you ever represented any of Miss Wallace's real estate customers and done any title work for them? Because I personally feel that right there would already be a conflict of interest. My next questions, you can answer that at the end if you want.
I've represented a lot of the employees at the district and done a lot of the real estate work for a lot of the employees within the district.
So you don't think it's a conflict to represent the board, to stand up for the board for his contract? He's paid you to do work for him before?
We had outside counsel with regard to that contract.
Okay. And my following questions are actually for the public, and you may get an opportunity to stretch your legs, but if you could stand, if you received any official notification from the school about the principal changes. Okay. Has anyone received any official notification from the school about the counseling they'd offered? Has anyone in this room received any information about how they can get additional assistance for their child outside of the school? Has anyone in this room been a student in the school and been a victim of someone who was employed in the school? Please stand. Is anyone in this room a parent of a child who has been a victim of a student in the school? Please stand. Okay, well, my Facebook page has a lot more than that. I did start a Facebook page. It accumulated 1,000 people since the last meeting. I have released over 60-some different documents that I found publicly and on your website. I do want to let you know that transparency is possible. I did it since the last meeting. It's been 15 days. I accumulated a group of 1,000 people, 1,000 parents from this school to have a place to talk and also provide them with all of the things I just asked about. The crime victims numbers, the numbers for the Attorney General's office, the numbers for the district attorney, the numbers for your own attorneys. You guys haven't even given anyone the contact information about that other than what we're paying them. So do better. And I would honestly think that, like, in the future would take the advice of people that are up here talking, because it doesn't seem like you guys are actually listening. Like, post the meetings on Facebook. It's easy.
Josh Ellsworth, 505 Mary Lane.
Good evening, everybody. I'm a parent in this district and also serve this community as a member of a couple boards, and I have a daughter in 11th grade. I won't profess to be wise on legal matters. I also won't profess to know the hearts and minds of men and women. So I'm not here to speak on intentions or to really debate past actions in detail. Instead, I want to speak about leadership, what that looks like when it matters most, like right now. Good leadership isn't just about making the right decisions when things are going well. It's about how we respond when trust has been shaken. Often leadership means asking not what am I entitled to do, but what is the right thing to do for the people I serve. In this case, the children I serve. In a school community, trust is everything. It's what allows parents to send their children into classrooms with confidence and students to feel safe speaking up. Once that trust is damaged, rebuilding it requires more than time. It requires visible, meaningful steps that show the community that our children come first. These are moments when holding on can make healing for everybody harder. And there are moments when stepping aside, regardless of contracts, regardless of personal cost, can be the most powerful act of leadership, servant leadership. Not because somebody is forced to, not because they are necessarily in the wrong, not because they are not qualified to lead, but simply because they choose to put the needs of the community above their own position. Sometimes the greatest way to become part of the solution is to step out of the process entirely. These are the circumstances that I believe exist that this leadership faces today. To the board, I want to say this. I've served on school boards, still do. Not this one, but I appreciate that you're carrying a heavy responsibility right now. Probably not one you thought you were signing up for some of you. And I pray that as you move forward, you continue to center your decisions on what will restore trust, stability, and safety of our children. As a concerned parent, I also echo the sentiment from several others tonight that you prioritize transparency and communication, two critical pillars of leading, especially leading through times like this. I'd like to encourage you to not only take the time to share the actions you are taking, but clearly explain the why behind some of these decisions. For instance, the reassignment of Mr. Diamond to the middle school and Mrs. Downs to the high school may be the right decision. I can only trust that it probably is, but it requires communication. Without communication and transparency, the community is left guessing why and filling in their own blanks with something that's probably not exactly the truth. And that's not fair or just to any of the parties involved. 30 more seconds. When we moved our daughter into this school in her 8th grade year, we had a very positive experience. Key to that experience was the genuine care, communication, and compassion of the Laurel Highlands Middle School leadership, including Mrs. Downs and Mr. Rosgoni. We have similar experience with many of the staff, administration, and extracurricular coaches at this high school as well. So I hope that you find the evil, hold them accountable, establish new preventative processes, and move this community forward with clarity and courage. Thank you for serving us.
Thank you. Kristen Vensko, 311 80 Acres Road.
That's just going to have to stay there. All right, my name is Kristen Vensko, and I am speaking on behalf of my niece Briella, for whom I have power of attorney and who is a special needs student in Hutchison Elementary. She is nonverbal, uses a wheelchair, and has developmental delays and health issues. So she has a full-time nurse to help her during her school days. In October of 2025, Briella's nurse reported an incident of abuse at Hutchison, as is her duty as a mandated reporter. As a result of that report, a teacher at Hutchison revealed Briella's nurse's name and employment information to parents of a student in that class. This is literally criminal. And those parents proceeded to illegally harass and physically threaten Briella's nurse and call her employer to demand her firing. Aides in Briella's class have retaliated against Briella's nurse to the point where Briella is excluded from activities and cannot attend her autism support class. I'm sorry, I'm really wound up. We have wasted months fighting for accountability with Hutchinson Principal Rick Hogger and Superintendent Wallace. So we finally reported these incidents to the school board on February 24th. We have been ignored completely to date, save a Facebook comment from board member Conway stating that y'all did in fact receive the complaint. I can't figure out how a board that claims to value accountability and says it takes complaints seriously explains ignoring us completely for months. Hearing that Mr. Walker was also completely ignored actually makes us feel a little bit better. And since we never received a response from the board, we took our complaints to the PA Department of Education, which I encourage everybody to do because they take complaints seriously there. PDE has forced an upcoming meeting with administrators, but we will be back if our demands for investigations aren't met. Seriously, please reach out to PDE if the district isn't helping you. This is the way to get noticed in a district with a history of sweeping complaints under the rug. The lack of action when mandated reporters are bullied into staying silent or are retaliated against is exactly why the district is in the position that it is currently in. It's a systemic failure to protect mandated reporters. And unless we keep standing up, these people in power will do precisely what they've always done, which is nothing. And we can't let that happen. And that's it.
Thank you. Is it Scarlina?
Sorry. Scarlina, you can just call me Lena. It's a lot easier in life. I just have a question, honestly. What are we doing moving forward, right? So we know what happened, everything, all these different things, whatever. I need to know what we're doing moving forward, right? We're hiring security guard, right? Got that. But are we putting cameras in to the classrooms, front and back? Why is that illegal? Why would that be illegal? Is it illegal?
How is it illegal when we talked to Jody and Andrea after the last school board meeting and we said that they were playing around with the possibility of putting cameras in each classroom for security and for children to attend online so they would miss school? Sarah Hickson would be said.
It's a contractual issue with regard to the professional employees that would have to be negotiated and agreed upon to have cameras within the classroom.
Because I think that might be a little helpful to help
Whether or not
parents
that's possible
understand.
would depend on that negotiated contract.
Right.
There are cameras throughout the entirety of the schools other than the classrooms.
So, but where do these incidents take place?
In the classroom.
You're answering my question, right? We're following here.
That's why we have to have the investigations that we're having and the
Right.
outside counsel that was appointed.
Okay, I get that. I understand that. So if the investigations come back stating, okay, this is what happened, people are going to jail, whatever, right? What is the move going forward?
That remains to be seen. That's just,
So
could
you
be
have-
a lot of different things.
Okay, that's what I want to know, if there's any answers. Because there's, what I'm getting is not answers. That's what I'm getting.
Rich Smith, 257 Center Avenue.
I am disgusted, appalled, and quite frankly embarrassed by what's going on in the district lately. But that's not my main reason for speaking tonight. For the last few years, Laurel Highlands School District has been in the spotlight for profoundly negative reasons, and justifiably so. These reasons need to be taken seriously by all administrators and board members, thoroughly addressed, investigated, and adjudicated for the safety of our students and for the well-being of all parents, guardians, and stakeholders in the district. While this spotlight should rightfully be shown on all the negative actions of the district, it should also be turned toward the district-wide positive aspects, while not minimizing any deleterious actions committed or currently under investigation. There are good people in this district. There are good buildings in this district. One such bright spot is Clark Elementary School and its teachers and staff. My daughter's a third grade student at Clark, and I can't say enough good things about her experience there. Her teachers, including Christina Novotny, Megan Watts, Tiffany Gudak, Jennifer Marmol, Teddy Matioski, Olivia Lancaster, Dan Arnold, Jennifer Voighton, Rachel Zanobi, and Dawn Santor have been nothing short of exceptional in my daughter's time there. I'm a parent volunteer and PTO member there, and during the time that I've spent volunteering there, coupled with my experience as a former teacher, sadly I had to retire for medical reasons, I can tell that Clark is a good school with good people. I see all the teachers and staff, from SRO Dave Mitchell, Secretary Nikki Tomasic, custodians, PTO President Barb Kodrick, Alicia Roloff, Kelly Trusky, and all the other PTO members, cafeteria and outside support staff, going above and beyond for all students in the building on a regular basis. I believe the reason for this is twofold. First, the hiring and placement of the right personnel, in this instance, and second, the culture of inclusivity and togetherness that is fostered by Principal Emily Keurig. Mrs. Keurig makes it a point to make sure that everyone associated with the school feels welcome there, not unlike a large family. This is quite evident during the numerous activities and programs that are offered at the school and during the school's fun day, which is held at the end of every school year. The PTO and school make sure that everyone who participates in fun day, staff, students, volunteers, has shirts to mark the occasion and are included in all activities. Personally, I've never felt more welcome in a building where I was not employed. If Laurel Highlands is serious about reshaping its district-wide image, and it should be, one of the first steps administrators and the board should take should be to look at what makes Clark work so well and implement those findings in other buildings. Mrs. Keurig and her staff are exceptional and should be recognized and celebrated for their accomplishments.
Dr. Joyce Royster, 316 Dixon Boulevard.
I have previously addressed the board in a work session, and I think they have an understanding of where I'm coming from. And I do want to say this, I am the voice of the children. I'm a substitute teacher, former assistant superintendent of schools. And I substitute teach for one reason, not for the $120 a day. I do because I love these kids. And these kids feel safe with me. And I want these kids to feel safe everywhere. I am the voice of the children. I am the voice of the parents. I'm the voice of the community. And I am the voice of this school board. These are good people up here. A lot of these people are very good people. They volunteer their time. They're trying to work through this fiasco, as I call it. And I applaud you. And I want to be part of the solution, just like I told you, because I'm not part of the problem. I have 40 years of education. And in my 40 years, I've walked an assistant principal off the job. I walked a teacher out of the school before the due process. Okay? You know why? Because I have a legal duty to protect my babies. I'm a grandmother, I'm old. And I have a lot of experience. And I am here to serve this community, and I'm not ready to throw the towel in. I am ready to help solve this problem. And you know how I want to do it? I want to do focus groups. I don't know if anyone's familiar with focus groups. and hear from each group of stakeholders and record and get the facts to the investigators. I am unbiased. I stand here to serve my community, and I stand here to serve my board. I am a person who loves what I do, and that's help kids. I am now in the process of trying to adopt a 14-year-old boy who's in a group home, and I'm trying to get him out and finish raising him. Okay? I had him at 2.5 months to 5 years old, gave him back to his family, and he's been mistreated for 9 years, and I feel guilty, and I'm going to get him. I'm all about the children, and I think anyone who knows Joyce Royster knows I'm all about the children. That's my bottom line. I speak for the kids. The kids are very upset with the changes at the middle school. They're very upset that they don't have Mrs. Downs, but they're going to be okay. And the reason why they're going to be okay is because I'm going to walk in that school every day, and I'm going to let those kids know that they're going to be okay, that I am here for them. Some of them just want to come to my room. I'm like, well, you're supposed to be someplace else. No, I want to see you. You know why they want to see me? Safety. I'm a safe person. Thank you. And I want to represent this community, and I have been in 7 school districts, and I can help this community because I stand for truth. I've been told to shut up, and I told the board, there's no shutting Joyce Royster up. And I am going to stand here for the community, and I'm going to stand here to help with solutions. We all know what the problems are. I'm not discussing the problems. I want to discuss the solution. And I thank you for allowing me to speak. I humbly thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Royster. Ron Hetchney, 227 Mount U Road. Pacini. Sorry.
I rise just to talk one comment on one of the business items tonight off the agenda, which is the huddle system you're thinking about purchasing for sports. The huddle system you're talking about buying for sports, I'm sorry it's not as important as what you guys are talking about, but it is something that deals with the school board having to take attention to, and it's on your agenda tonight. And that is, if you have the finances to afford a vanity accessory for sports, that means, to my mind, you have the money then in the budget to spend the money that's necessary for the teams to get the competitive equipment and safety equipment they need to participate in WPIAL. And my experience in the last 2 years with my son is that the school is not supporting, in my case, the soccer team, and in the talking with other parents, the girls softball and girls soccer teams are also not receiving the equipment they need and their coaches request. So if you're going to approve a vanity software, hardware, whatever it is, I think you make sure you have the money to spend on the stuff that's actually required that the children have. That's all I have. My time is up.
Thank you, sir. Karina Horton.
Years ago, I made the decision to reside and raise my children in the Laurel Highlands School District. This very stage that you sit on is the stage I envisioned my children walking across. At that time, I felt confident in their supervision and success in this district. Today, I worry that my children would walk across this stage and be handed a diploma along with invisible scars that can never be healed. Trauma and manipulation that no child should be subjected to. I will not put my children in a position to survive a school district. This board has a choice. You can continue to protect a failing administration, or you can start protecting our children. The scars they carry today are the legacy you are building. It is time to change that legacy. It is time for a new superintendent and a new era of safety for Laurel Highlands.
Thank you, Karina. That's the end of our list of people that signed up. Is there anyone else that didn't make the list and would like to speak? We have a motion for the approval of minutes for regular meeting March 18th, 2026, special meeting of March 24th, 2026, special meeting of April 1st, 2026.
Motion.
Second.
Proper motion's been made and second. Are there any questions on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. This broadcast, the meeting is being live streamed on WMBS. Brings us to the superintendent's report. I'll turn it over to Dr. Wallace.
Thank you, Mr. Donato. First thing I would like to do is congratulate the high school quiz team for making it to the state championships. And to Mr. Petrone, their coach, good luck to them when they travel to Harrisburg for that competition. Nice work. Also, as you may or may not know, the Laurel Highlands School District is looking for substitutes in all areas of the district. We need day-to-day professional substitutes in all areas of certification, as well as emergency certified substitutes. In addition, we need support staff substitutes in the areas of cafeteria, custodial, secretary, paraprofessional aides, health room aides, that's RNs and LPNs, and Security Act 235 certified. For more information, please visit our website or call the district office. And my last report is I would like to congratulate Miss Lauren Seaton, a junior, one of Miss Neal's SAD Club members and sponsors. She won the Highway Safety Network State Farm Billboard Design Contest for 2026, and her winning design was picked from all of PennDOT District 12 entries, which covers over 4 different counties. And you can see her sign right beside the Exxon on Main Street. Congratulations to Lauren. Nice job. That concludes my report, Mr. Donato.
Thank you, Dr. Wallace. Academic Foundation report, Ms. Novak.
Thank you, Mr. Donato. The Academic Foundation met on Monday, April 13th. 4 mini grants were submitted by various organizations throughout the district and were approved by the foundation. The next meeting is Monday, May 4th at 6 p.m. at the high school. This concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Novak. Comprehensive Plan and Board Policy Committee. We're going to start with Mr. Randy Miller.
Thank you very much. Just want to announce some things happening here in the district. The Hutchison Elementary will hold their annual family reading night this Thursday, April 16th from 6 to 8 p.m. The theme is Let's Grow Together. We hope that families come out and have a great time literacy at Hutchison Elementary. I want to recognize Hatfield Elementary. Hatfield Elementary students are going back to nature. Mr. Winkler, Hatfield teacher, has been involved in trout in the classroom for over the past 10 years. The program partners with Trout Unlimited and the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission, and is an environmental education program where students learn about Pennsylvania watersheds and cold water resources while raising trout in the classroom. The culminating event is releasing over 300 trout and experiencing the outdoors. The trout will be released on May 20th at the Isaac Walton Meadow Run Conservation Club. Enjoy a nature walk to learn more about animal patterns and hopefully see a salamander or two. They then will experience some fishing before returning to school. I'd like to thank Mr. Winkler and all the students for going back to nature. Also, middle school students are experiencing some space. Our middle school students will be taking part in an annual field trip to the Goddard Space Flight Center in Maryland. Goddard is NASA's premier space flight complex and home to the nation's largest organization of scientists and engineers. As you know, Pennsylvania is typically not known for space programs, but recently they took one giant step with a company called Astrobotics, who partners with NASA, CMU, and many other programs. Astrobotics is located in Pittsburgh near the Steelers and Pirates Stadium, and they're working on lunar spacecrafts for moon landings and exploration. Anyone can visit their museum and see the scientists working on their current projects, and hope you have an opportunity to experience it. We'd like to congratulate Mr. Bob Walters, Hutchinson teacher and outdoor school coordinator. Mr. Walters was selected as member of the STEM Pioneers Teacher Corps. Penn State University was seeking passionate and qualified elementary teachers to apply for the National STEM Teacher Corps Regional Alliance Pilot Program. This program places elementary teachers at the frontier of early STEM learnings and hopes to enhance STEM opportunities for students. According to Penn State, Mr. Walters' application stood out among a highly competitive pool of talented K-5 educators across the region, and they were excited to welcome him to this community. Congratulations, Mr. Walters. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Board Policy Committee, Mrs. Novak.
I have nothing else to report at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Novak. Curriculum Committee, Mrs. Conway.
Thank you, Mr. Donato. C1, I'd like to approve the high school academic quiz team to attend the state playoff competition in Harrisburg on Thursday and Friday, April 30th and May 1st, 2026. The chaperones and team sponsors are Mrs. Julie Vennick and Mr. Paul Patrone. This is the third year in a row that the students have qualified for states. Congratulations. The total cost is approximately $5,500. We are in the process of applying for as many grants as possible to help offset the costs. I'd like to thank Matt and Lexi George, M&R Transit, and the Laurel Highlands Academic Foundation for their donations to help offset the cost thus far. If I've missed anyone, I do apologize.
I'll second that motion.
Proper motion's been made and second. Are there any questions on the motion? Roll call, please, Ms. Pegg.
Mrs. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. Landman?
Yes.
Mrs. Novak?
Yes.
Mr. DeAndrea?
Yes.
Mr. Elias?
Yes.
Mrs. Cunningham?
Yes.
Mr. George?
Yes.
Mr. Donato?
Yes.
8 yeas.
Motion carries.
C2 is informational. Families can register their child for kindergarten in the 2026-27 school year online by visiting our website, www.lhsd.org, or scan the QR code on the flyers and signs throughout our community. After registering, parents can be contacted by the elementary school to schedule their visit to the school to complete the screening process. Thank you so much for registering in advance. We look forward to welcoming you and your child to the LH family. C3 is informational. National Teacher Day is Tuesday, May 5th, 2026, and National Teacher Appreciation Week is May 4th through the 8th, 2026. Laurel Highlands would like to acknowledge all of our teachers as well as all of our staff for helping to prepare our students for their future. Thank you. C4 is informational. The annual Title I survey will be posted on our website starting April 16th and will remain open until April 30th for parents to provide their input into Title I program. That concludes my report, Mr. Donato.
Thank you, Ms. Conway. Buildings and grounds, we'd like to start with Mr. Nicolino.
Thank you, Mr. Donato. Buildings and grounds report for April 2026. District-wide, we have daily maintenance and repairs, daily cleaning and disinfecting. At the middle school, the new air conditioning chiller startup is in progress. At Marshall, the PA sound system upgrade is completed. Under miscellaneous, recently conducted safety evaluations at Hutchinson. Our monthly district safety meeting will be held April 16th. Grass maintenance and all summer supplies are ordered and will be delivered the week of June 8th, 2026. And finally, we are currently working on a promotion with our district phone service provider that will save the district an estimated $5,000 a year. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Galino. I turn it over to Mr. George.
I have nothing else to report at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. George. Finance, Budget and Taxation Committee, Mr. Tom Shetterly.
Hi, good evening. My name is Tom Shetterly, and if approved tonight, I'll be serving in the capacity of in the business department, assisting while the business director is on an absence or a leave. Two main priorities during that time will be preparation of an annual budget for the 26-27 school year and assisting in any way I can with negotiations. There are a couple items on the agenda tonight. I don't know if you had any questions or if there were any concerns with what's on there. But
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shetterly. Mr. George.
Item F1, I'd like to put into a form of a motion to approve bank reconciliation / board summary found in Exhibit A.
Second.
Proper motion's been made and second. Are there any questions on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item F2, I'd like to put into a form of a motion to approve payment of bills found in Exhibit B.
Second.
Proper motion's been made and second. Are there any questions on the motion? Roll call, please, Ms. Pegg.
Mr. George?
Yes.
Mrs. Cunningham?
Yes.
Mrs. Novak?
Yes.
Mr. Lamon?
Yes.
Mr. Elias?
Yes.
Mrs. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. DeAndrea?
Yes.
Mr. Denano?
Yes.
8 yeas.
Motion carries.
F3, I'd like to make a motion to approve the payment of the GOB bills found in Exhibit C.
Second.
Proper motion's been made and second. Is there any questions on the motion? Roll call, please, Ms. Pegg.
Mr. George?
Yes.
Mrs. Cunningham?
Yes.
Mrs. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. DeAndrea?
Yes.
Mr. Elias?
Yes.
Mr. Lamon?
Yes.
Mrs. Novak?
Yes.
Mr. Denano?
Yes.
8 yeas.
Motion carries.
F4 is informational. The investment report found in Exhibit D. F5, I'd like to make a motion to approve the federal report found in Exhibit E.
Second.
Proper motion's been made and second. Or is there any questions on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
F6, I'd like to put into motion student activity funds / athletic funds found in Exhibit F.
Proper motion's been made and second. Is there any questions on the motion? Roll call, please, Ms. Pegg.
Mr. George?
Yes.
Mrs. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. Lamon?
Yes.
Mrs. Novak?
Yes.
Mr. Elias?
Yes.
Mrs. Cunningham?
Yes.
Mr. DeAndrea?
Yes.
Mr. Denano?
Yes.
8 yeas.
Motion carries.
F7, I'd like to put into a motion for permission to secure quotes for insurances for the 26-27 school year as follows. General liability, workers' compensation, and errors and omissions insurance. We will obtain these quotes through our current broker of record. Quotes are obtained by them through PSBA and Insurance Trust.
Second.
Proper motion's been made and second. Are there any questions on a motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I have nothing further to report.
Thank you, Mr. George. Health, Nutrition and Foods Committee, Mr. Jason Johns.
He's had a family emergency and he's not going to be here.
Okay. Mrs. Conway.
Thank you, Mr. Denano. I'd like to put in the form of a motion the cafeteria report found in Exhibit G.
Second.
Proper motion's been made and second. Are there any questions on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
That concludes my report, Mr. Denano.
Thank you, Ms. Conway. Security Safety Committee. Start with Mr. Pierce.
Since the last board meeting, the security upgrade at the middle school has been completed with 67 cameras installed. We are now moving to R.W. Clark Elementary School within the next couple of weeks, where the camera system will be upgraded there as well. A breakdown of citations or juvenile allegation complaints since the last board meeting are as follows. 11 incidents total were reported to me. These incidents include 10 citations filed for disorderly conduct, 3 citations for possession of vapes on school grounds. Also, 2 juvenile allegation complaints were filed with the county's juvenile probation office for possession of drug paraphernalia on school grounds. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Pierce. Mr. DeAndrea.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion for permission to hire Brian Harris as school resource officer. Placement will be made by Chief of Security. He has his Act 235 and all his clearances.
Second.
Proper motion's been made and second. Are there any questions on the motion? Roll call, please, Ms. Pegg.
Mr. DeAndrea?
Yes.
Mr. George?
Yes.
Mrs. Novak?
Yes.
Mr. Elias?
Yes.
Mrs. Cunningham?
Yes.
Mrs. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. Lamon?
Yes.
Mr. Denona?
Yes.
8 yeas.
Motion carries.
That concludes my report, Mr. Denona.
Thank you, Mr. DeAndrea. Transportation Committee, Mr. Ken Martinez.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As we move into our busy time of the year with a lot of new sports coming on, we got baseball, track, got a big track team for the middle school and the high school. We got every time they go out, they got 2 buses going with that, and also field trips going out. We got it's not ending right now. We got so many field trips for all the elementary schools and stuff going on. 48 bus runs daily that we're doing, and we have 28 field trips that are scheduled as of right now for the next 2 weeks. And First Student's doing a great job. I appreciate all their support and help they're doing. M&R, they're running 34 vans, helping us out with everything that they can, and they're doing a great job with this also. That's all I have to report at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Mr. Elias.
Also, with the transportation, we'd like to approve additional drivers for M&R Transportation, Exhibit H, 42 of.
Second.
Proper motions are made and second. Is there any questions on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
That's the end of my report, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Elias. Human Resources and Public Relations, Mrs. Jody Johnson.
Hi, so I have some of the exciting things that are going on in special ed. I have a folder up there, like there's 4 of them up there for you guys to look at. Yes. So this is a program this is the first year at the high school. It is called the Professional Connections Foundation, and what it is a structured program that's to help students with disabilities to explore careers and so prepare for the workforce. And so the students, there were 20 students that worked over 90 days where they were provided with presentations and twice a week, like going through and exploring different types of career interests and jobs and stuff. And then at the very end, the students that met all the attendance requirements received $50 each, and they also completed an on-site exploration where they got to go to like Laurel Technical Institute. They went to the ARC, Career Link, a daycare, Fade EMS, and then the last place they went was Eaton Park, where they got to ice and cookies and stuff like that. So it was a really nice program. We're hoping to incorporate it again next year. The kids really liked it. Also at the high school, they started a closet, and it's been a real big hit. Where like teachers and staff have been bringing in donations of clothes and different things, shoes, different things that they have, and stuff like that, coats, whatever that students may need. We have toiletries and all different types of stuff there for students, and students are really like coming in and shopping and like getting things that they need. So we're hoping to keep that stocked, and just, plus the students and stuff are able to get like learning. Students are working to like stock everything and hang everything and do different things like that, so it's teaching them a skill too. So we have that going on. At the middle school, Mrs. Hickson's class just finished hatching chicks, And so they were able to learn about the life cycle of chickens. And right now, this month, they're learning about the plant life cycle. So they're planting plants and stuff like that. At Hutchinson Elementary right now, they are working on creating a sensory room down there with money that they got from a grant. And so we're real excited about that. They do have, like, in some of the rooms, like little corners, like calming corners and stuff, but having the sensory room is really going to be nice to, for the students that need it, and it's going to help, like, for the kids when they're upset or when they just need somewhere to go and stuff like that. So it's going to open a lot of doors for them. So we're excited about that. And then at Marshall, Mrs. Banco facilitated the Neighborhood Forest Program this year for Earth Day. And so the trees were delivered this week, and the students were able to help unpack the trees and, like, misting the roots and bagging and stuff like that, so that they went home with the students that signed up for it. So that's what I have going on. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Johnson. Lenny Neal, you're on deck.
Thank you, board members, Dr. Wallace. The Incident IQ ticketing system that we had discussed is on track to be rolled out and finished at the end of May. So we should have that implemented and be able to be using it for the next school year. Next week will be the first time that the PSSA testing has been fully online. We've been working with Mr. Wingrove's class, who's been an extreme amount of help in repairing some of the Chromebooks and swapping out broken ones at all the various elementaries. And we've been doing optimization of the networks and everything, so we feel like we're pretty well suited to go through with that, and pretty optimistic that it's going to run well. So that's all.
Thank you, Mr. Neal. Human Resources and Public Relations, Mrs. Cunningham.
Under professional personnel. P1, approve additional substitute teachers, Exhibit I.
Second.
Proper motion's been made and second. Are there any questions on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
P2, request for retirements, other leaves and resignations. There's none at this time. P3, conference request, approve permission by Luke Rice, middle school science teacher, to take middle school students to visit the NASA Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland on May 6, 2026. This is one-day field trip that will host 35 students, grades 6 through 8, 2 teacher chaperones and 1 principal. This is at no cost to the district. All funds have been donated and through fundraising.
Second.
Proper motion's been made and second. Are there any questions on the motion? Roll call, please, Ms. Pegg.
Mrs. Cunningham?
Yes.
Mr. DeAndrea?
Yes.
Mr. Elias?
Yes.
Mr. George?
Yes.
Mr. Lamon?
Yes.
Mrs. Novak?
Yes.
Mrs. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. Denano?
Yes.
8 yeas.
Motion carries.
P4, in the form of a motion, approve Vanessa David, student from Pennsylvania West Virginia University, to complete an intern placement in the fall of 2026 for at least 450 hours.
Second.
Proper motion's been made and second. Are there any questions on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
P5, in the form of a motion, approve IU1 Business Office Service Agreement.
Second.
Proper motion's been made and second. Are there any questions on the motion? Roll call, please, Ms. Pegg.
Who was the second? Okay, I thought. Mrs. Cunningham?
Yes.
Mrs. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. DeAndrea?
Yes.
Mr. Lamon?
Yes.
Mrs. Novak?
Yes.
Mr. George?
Yes.
Mr. Elias?
Yes.
Mr. Denano?
Yes.
8 yeas.
Motion carries.
P6, under support personnel, approve, put in the form of a motion to approve additional substitute employees for support personnel, Exhibit I.
Second.
Proper motion's made and second. Are there any questions on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
P7, in the form of a motion, approve paraprofessional update, Exhibit J.
Second.
Proper motion's been made and second. Are there any questions on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
P8, in the form of a motion, accept the retirement of Mrs. Susan Palmer, 10-and-a-half-month custodian at Hatfield Elementary School, effective June 16, 2026. Mrs. Palmer has 10 years of dedicated service to the district.
Second.
Proper motion's been made and second. Are there any questions on the motion? Roll call, please, Ms. Pegg.
Mrs. Cunningham?
Yes.
Mr. George?
Yes.
Mrs. Conway?
Yes.
Mrs. Novak?
Yes.
Mr. DeAndrea?
Yes.
Mr. Learman?
Yes.
Mr. Elias?
Yes.
Mr. Deneno?
Yes.
8 yeas.
Motion carries.
I'd like to thank Ms. Palmer for her decade of service to the district. Thank you, Ms. Palmer.
P9, in the form of a motion, accept the revised retirement date of Miss Brenda Henderson, 12-month head custodian at the high school, from June 10th, 2026 to April 30th of 2026.
Second.
Proper motion's made and second. Are there any questions on the motion? Roll call, please, Ms. Pegg.
Mrs. Cunningham?
Yes.
Mr. George?
Yes.
Mr. Elias?
Yes.
Mrs. Novak?
Yes.
Mr. DeAndrea?
Yes.
Mr. Learman?
Yes.
Mrs. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. Deneno?
Yes.
8 yeas.
Motion carries.
P10 has been tabled.
That was tabled, yeah, sorry.
That concludes my report, Mr. Deneno.
Thank you, Mrs. Cunningham. Athletic and extracurricular activities. Mr. Mike Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Denano.
Oh, Mr. Label, we're going to have Mr. Smith give a update.
She got his hat on.
Thank you. Not much to report in April. Spring sports are in full swing. We have great participation all the way from the middle school to the high school. The high school teams are right in the middle of playoff races, both softball, baseball, and our track team. Our track team will participate in the Fayette County Coaches Tournament, which will be hosted by Uniontown this year. That'll take place on Friday, April 20th. And for right now, like I said, not much going on other than we will be hiring fall sport coaches here in the May meeting, and we will have the upcoming head football coach interviews next week. That's all I have to report.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Yeah.
Mr. Lamon.
Thank you, Mr. Denano. Thank you, Mr. Smith, and congratulations on his back-to-back wins against Albert Gallatin this week. Good evening, folks. Thank you all for being here. First and foremost, I just want to mention that, as Mr. Smith said, the spring sports are in full effect right now. And also, within the next 10 to 14 days, we will be interviewing candidates for the head football coaching position here at Laurel Highlands. That'll probably be within the next 2 weeks or so. And also, the next thing that I'd like to put in a form of a motion is the purchase of the Huddle Athletic Department package. This has been recommended by the athletic department and also by some of the sports teams that are here at Laurel Highlands. They've agreed to contribute almost half of what the package costs. The football team has agreed to pay $2,500. The boys basketball team, $2,000. The girls basketball team, $1,000. Girls soccer team, $1,000. And the volleyball team, $750. And hopefully some of the other sports teams will contribute as well. The total package costs $15,000. And again, we talked about this. If they were to be able to raise at least half of the package, we would get it. To date, we're the only school in the WPAL that does not have that package, and the Huddle Athletic Department package includes unlimited subscriptions, 200 hours of storage per team, film, roster, schedule storage, player and team profiles, recruiting tools, automatic analysis of your film and opponent scouting forms, and supported by Varsity Sports. This will greatly benefit our teams here at Laurel Highlands, which will enable us to compete moving forward in some of those sports. Again, the sports teams have contributed $7,250
out of the $15,000 package. So I'd like to put that in the form of a motion at this time.
Second.
Proper motion's made and second. Are there any questions on the motion? Roll call, please, Ms. Pegg.
Mr. Lamon?
Yes.
Mr. George?
Yes.
Mrs. Novak?
Yes.
Mrs. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. Elias?
Yes.
Mrs. Cunningham?
Yes.
Mr. DeAndrea?
Yes.
Mr. Denano?
Yes.
8 yeas.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Donato. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Lehman. Legal advisement, Mr. Frankhauser.
We have one grievance that is at the arbitration level that is very close to being resolved through agreement by the parties, and hopefully to avoid that expense of arbitration. And we should know that within the next 2 weeks to be able to cancel the need for that arbitration. Been asked to make a statement regarding the realignment. The realignment of the principals was an administrative move with the knowledge of the board to provide a new perspective, which may or may not be permanent and may also involve future realignments. There's currently no disciplinary action or reason for these realignments, and they are going to be under continual investigation and analysis. I have to report that the district received the resignation of Mr. Cervone yesterday, April the 14th, 2026. The board would like to make it known that the process for termination was in place for tonight to be approval of the administration action of dismissal and provide the statement of charges and notice of hearing that was prepared and ready to proceed that is now not relevant. This does not terminate any of the continued actions pending with the Department of Education as well as the district attorney. And that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Frankhauser. I'd also like to take this time to introduce Mrs. Christina Lane from our outside counsel from MBM Law, kind of give everybody like a little bit of a scope of work and where we're at with that.
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to be here. We certainly appreciate your confidence in MBM Law. Your school board asked me to be here tonight to hear you, and we hear you. I have business cards, I'll leave them. The school board has received information from community members. They've forwarded it to us. We don't need a conduit. You can contact us directly. I thank you, Sarah, for your comments on my associate who's working with me, Pete, that he's been available, and we are available to you. So please contact us. Your school board has put our engagement letter on the website. Our contact information is in that letter. It's on our letterhead, it has our number. Our website is mbm-law.com. You can find us, so please do. We are directed to find, if there is a problem here, find it, recommend corrective action, and then recommend how it will not occur. Fix practices here. Let's look at the system. Is there a problem in the system? And we want to help. I really appreciate you. We've started the investigation. We're early on in that. And it's going to take your trust coming forward, giving us the information. We were here last time when we were appointed, and there was a lot of generalities. Everybody knows. We knew this has been happening for years. Your school board can't take any action on generalities. We need specific information. So if you have that, please share that. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Mrs. Lane. Do we have a motion to approve the actions of the superintendent to furlough for economic reasons and the reduction of programs?
And Mr. Donato, that would include the ability to provide the necessary correspondence as required by the law and the collective bargaining agreement to any potentially affected professional employees.
I'll move.
Second.
Proper motion's been made and second. Are there any questions on the motion?
That means if there are economic reasons or changes in programs that may require a reduction in staff, we are required by law to provide specific notices of the potential of that. That does not mean that it's going to happen. It's just a procedural issue that we have to make sure occurs in a timely manner in the event that that is necessary at some point.
So why now?
It's every year. We do that every year.
Anyone motioned yet?
Yeah, we did. Motion and second.
Who was it? Joe motioned
And I
Mr.
made
George
it.
second. Are there any questions on the motion? Roll call, please, Ms. Pegg.
Mr. DeAndrea?
Yes.
Mr. George?
Yes.
Mrs. Novak?
Yes.
Mr. Elias?
Yes.
Mrs. Cunningham?
Yes.
Mrs. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. Lamon?
Yes.
Mr. Denona?
Yes.
8 yeas.
Motion carries. Do you read that?
A reminder that the state ethic forms for the calendar year 2025 are due to Mrs. Kim Pegg in the district office by May the 1st, 2026. If you don't have the form, she has additional forms that you can obtain from her, but those are required by all board members, myself, to submit to the state ethics, to have them available for state ethics.
Thank you, Mr. Frankhauser. Career and Technical Institute report, Mr. DeAndrea.
We are presently searching for a new director of the Career and Technical Institute. Other than that, that's all I have to report.
Thank you, Mr. DeAndrea.
Mrs. Cunningham, have anything?
No.
Intermediate Unit 1 report. Mr. Meadows isn't here this evening. Who would?
There's no report.
No report. Do I go to, can I get to the
Addendum.
addendum now? So we're going to move on to the addendum. Do we have a motion to approve permission to retain Tim Bergren from Peacock Keller as counsel for our current CBA negotiations at the following rates of representation on an hourly basis, no retainer, at $165 an hour for service of Mr. Bergren. Other counsel, if needed, would be $95 an hour for a paralegal, and there is no charge for clerical or secretary work.
Motion.
Second.
Proper motion has been made and second. Are there any questions on the motion? Roll call, please, Ms. Pegg.
Yes.
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 I can't hear.
Mr. Lamon?
Yes.
Mr. Denona?
Yes.
8 yeas.
Motion carries. G32 is tabled for
You
the
have to do
time.
a motion to table that.
Do we have a motion to table G32?
Second.
Proper motion's been made and second. Are there any questions on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. This brings us to our second public comment. Would anyone like to speak?
Mr. Denano, I'd like to speak.
Go for it.
I did say at the last meeting, after the last meeting, that I'd love to have cameras in the classrooms, and I've wanted that since COVID. But the problem is, we were in a collective bargaining agreement, and we couldn't do that. Now we're negotiating that agreement, and I hope that we get those. And there's a lot of problems with it. You can't have the students on there without permission, but we could have the teacher on camera. That way, if you're sick and you're at home, you could still attend the classroom, because many of your students don't want to miss school, and they won't miss their class if they're sick, and they won't bring the sickness to the school. So there are many reasons that I want it, but the main thing is for the education of everybody, and then also as a secondary checks and balance. Thank you.
What's
Well, what I want is the classrooms to be live streamed so you can see them from home. The cameras in the hall are not live streamed. They're monitored by security. That would be the difference. Because if you're at home and you log in and you're going to attend your class, now potentially somebody could be behind you and see something they shouldn't see or aren't permitted to see. Okay, that's just my wish. Only one board member. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Is there anyone that had any other questions on that?
There's a retirement that's happening that is potentially going to be done with Mrs. Pegg. So that's part of the discussion as to what's going to be in that contract, what's going to follow through with the responsibilities of that. So that is not complete yet. That's why it was tabled. Pardon me? No, replacing her.
Do we have a motion for adjournment?
I move.
Second.
Proper motions made and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting's adjourned. I have to use the restroom.